Hi, my name is Caitlin Rains, and this is my presentation on the science of reading. So, the science of reading is very important as a teacher to understand, and knowing and understanding this will help my students in their ability to read, listen, and pronounce words. So, if I know what my students are struggling in, I can take the necessary steps within the science of reading to teach my students how to read and the importance of reading. Comprehension. We next have the science of reading it refers to how we learn how to read and how we teach our students how to read. And it was created by the Arkansas Ideas as a partnership with the RISE Initiative and ADE. So it was basically like a Christmas present to teachers, and it helps create instruction. And it is composed of phonological awareness, which is the ability to recognize and manipulate oral language. It also has phonics, which is correlating a sound to a letter. So B is B. And it also includes vocabulary, so understanding what you are reading by the meaning of the words. And fluency is not how fast you can read, but how you read and comprehend the text. And it is broken into 4 theoretical models, which we're going to start out with Erie's phases. It includes the pre-alphabetic phase, and that's before the students know how to read. They use logos and such to understand and name things. So they see like a bag of Cheetos in the pantry and they associate that with Cheetos because they have associated with the logo to the representation. Then you next have partial alphabetic phase. That's when students know some of the alphabet, so like they know the alphabet song, but they don't understand what each letter means or represents. Then you have the full alphabetic phase, and that's when they usually learn how to make letter sound correlations, and they begin to decode unfamiliar words. You then have the consolidated alphabetic phase, and they use their knowledge of this to make larger blends and decode and understand those words. Next, we have the FourPart processing model, and I really like this photo. This is from the Arkansas Department of Education, and it just kind of visualizes how each thing works. And the 4-part processing model of word recognition is to understand where my students have difficulties with reading. It includes the context processor, meaning processor, orthographic processor, and the phonological processor. The orthographic and phonological processor has reading input, writing input, language input, and language output, and they work together to decode a word. And after that word is decoded, you then move on to the meaning and the context processor to understand the meaning of a text. Next, we have Scarboroughs Rope, and it is broken into 2 main strands with smaller strands woven in. So, language comprehension and word recognition. Language comprehension is a strand located in the upper area, so like this area right here is your language comprehension, and it consists of phonemic awareness and how reading works, sight words, vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency. Then your bottom half is your word recognition, and it includes phonological awareness, decoding, and sight recognition of familiar words. And those things work together to help the student become more accurate, proficient, fluent readers. We next have a simple view of reading. So D times LC equals RC, which means D stands for decoding, which has phonics, phonological awareness, phonemic awareness. Your language comprehension is LC, and it includes vocabulary and text comprehension. And RC is reading comprehension or fluency. And for a student to be proficient in reading, a student must complete the formula in the correct order. And that formula means that we must have strong decoding skills as a strong language skills to be able to have reading comprehension. We next have phonological awareness, and that is the broad skill that houses many components. So it's basically an umbrella term. So on You have your big umbrella that includes phonological awareness, and it's broken into, on the left side, words in a sentence, onset rhyme, syllables, rhyme alliteration. And on your right side, it has phonemic awareness, isolation, blending, segmenting, addition, substitution, deletion. And it is crucial in order for students to learn how to read. And we use phonological awareness in almost every day in my classroom. I teach 8th grade social studies, and we read a lot in my class, and sometimes students don't understand certain words or they can't say a word, and we use those to sound out a word and understand what we're reading. We next have phonics, and that is the relationship between sounds and letters in a word. So b-at equals bat. And teaching phonics is crucial in order for a student to effectively comprehend a text. And so phonics focuses mainly on sound-to-speech relationships, and it is associated with print. And when a student does not understand phonics, they miss a crucial part, and it will forever affect their learning. We next have fluency, and it is not really how fast you read, but how well you read and understand a text. It's automatic, and a way to teach fluency is to set up reading stations where students read aloud to each other while they listen. So fluency is kind of like holding a spoon. Once you learn how to hold a spoon, you never forget how to hold a spoon. And decoding comes quickly to students that are fluent readers, and people or students that are more fluent are able to interact with the text on a higher level, so they're able to comprehend and really know what they're reading. We next have vocabulary. Vocabulary needs to be taught to all students no matter the age, and the older you get is when you move into the different tiers of vocabulary. And I use vocabulary every day in my classroom, and we have vocabulary bell work. I give them a word, they give me the definition, they find a photo of it, and they use that word in a sentence. And on Fridays we have a bell work quiz over the words we learn, so we're not just kind of doing it and forgetting it. So level 1 is the basic known words, kind of like dog, cat, ball, etc. Things that like babies and toddlers know. And you have to know those words in order to move on to level 2, which are your academic words that are more frequently used, like what, how, welcome, exit, things like that you hear in school. Then you have level 3, which are content-specific words. So in my classroom this week, our bell work words were colony, economy, and slavery, since that's what we were learning about this week. And for larger and more unfamiliar words, you should break them down so students can understand them. So a first grader may not know what the word aquarium means, so you break it down. So aqua means water, so aquarium equals the housing of fish. We then have code emphasis versus meaning emphasis. So code emphasis requires a student to learn specific codes or letters and words, and that is controlled by the teacher or the lesson, and that is needed for phonemic awareness. And meaning emphasis, on the other hand, encourages the use of whole word reading, and that introduces a large variety of words that seemingly appear often in different types of text, so regardless of the sound patterns. And some believe that code emphasis has a better impact on students, helping students read, rather than meaning emphasis, because the teacher takes their time to give them codes and adding to them as the students learn how to read, rather than throwing a lot of words at them at once and expecting them how to read. We now have orthographic mapping, and that is the mental process used to store vocabulary for retrieval during reading, and it is crucial for reading fluency and reading comprehension. It improves sight word skills, reading fluency, and reading comprehension. So orthographic mapping begins when we hear a sequence of sounds, and then the sound sequence is recognized and then matched to stored sounds. Then our reading vocabulary is activated, and then the meaning is retrieved. Conclusion: the science of reading wants there to be more skilled readers. So it puts an emphasis on fluency, word recognition, and comprehension, and it encourages students to be more involved while using the ideas of the 5 essential elements of effective reading, which include phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. So here are my references for the information provided, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you for watching.